Hello, everyone. You are welcome to Anchor Network, where you get reliable and authentic news that are so crucial to you. I say big thank you to everyone who has been part of this channel and who has taken time to subscribe. And if you are yet to subscribe, I say please click the red subscribe button and also the bell icon. The bell icon will allow you to get notified anytime we publish any news. And also, I would like you to look at the screen. There's a website address there that I would like you to visit, and you'll be glad you did that. Thank you very much. Delta APC was formed in my parlor, says Keyamo. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC, Mr. Festus Keyamo, says the chapter of the party in Delta State was formed at his house in Efon. He stated this while he was being screened as a ministerial nominee by members of the Senate on Friday in Abuja. I was a foundation member of the APC in Delta State, Keyamo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, told the lawmakers. He added, the first major meeting held in Delta State involving the national leaders that came because we didn't have a government. It is a PDP state and we didn't have a government. That meeting was held in my house in Efon, in my parlor. So I can say APC was formed in my house in Delta State. It is not a surprise that I'm standing here today as a nominee of the APC for Delta State. Keyamo said that he joined politics because of the need to be part of the group that would fix the numerous challenges facing the nation. He was of the opinion that getting results for recommendations aimed at addressing the major issues in the country was hasty than being on the other side. For the senior lawyer, it is a natural inclination of governments all over the world to see critics on the outside as enemies, so they take your views with a pinch of salt. He explained, it was then I took a conscious decision some years ago to be part of a political process that could get us into power. That conscious decision I took was because I discovered that what you can be screaming on the outside for 10 years to achieve because of you are brimming with all kinds of solutions to our problems on the outside, you can achieve that in 10 minutes when you are part of the government and part of the political process. Keyamo is one of the 43 ministerial nominees whose names were forwarded by President Muhammadu Buhari to the Senate for confirmation. Like he has rightly said, you guys, like Keyamo had said, uh, it's not really a surprising thing, but you coming to the policies of being part of the government, of what impact, actually has he really made? You guys can really tell us the impact he has really made is a question, trying to throw out there. Because I could remember, it's all of a surprise. I could remember a time in the past that this guy was really on government. He was criticizing and criticizing and criticizing the same government. All of a sudden it turned around and now he's giving the testimony and account of why he had to join. That it can take you forever, if you are castigating, not really castigating, if you are trying to pinpoint some of the things that the government is not really doing, and they might not take you serious. They will see you as enemies, just like he said. But if you come in terms, in trying to join them, you'll be able to provide solution. You'll be able to, all those solutions, all those policies you have been talking about that the government has not been doing well, by the time you talk about it in 10 minutes, you can achieve results. But I beg to differ from that, because if the government of the day or that particular government at that time, if you are part of them, even if they are doing wrong, you will never come out and say it. And that is what is happening. And that's why you see a lot of people don't really agree with him. A lot of people like, oh, this man is a sellout, is this and that, is betraying people and all of that. I don't know if it does happen, because you could see that most of the people, that are with the president, that are with this present government, and it has been right from time immemorial. If you are part of the government, you dare not criticize them. You dare not say some things. Of course, maybe you, even if you are, let's just assume, to just be to play the devil's advocate, that if even if you are suggesting to some of the things to them, in your inner calculus, maybe you might not be able to come out and say these are the things I've been projecting to the government, and if they have really accepted it or not. Because And that is what people really want to say, that you are part of the government, but you are still criticizing the government. He has not come out to criticize, and it's not really limited, related or limited to him alone. It has been, even when PDP was there, you see people surrounding, the government, people working with the government. They will never, it's very, very rare, even if you have the people that want to stand out, that irrespective of my affiliation with you, irrespective of my being loyal, or my loyalty to you, I will still say things the way they are. Even if you have them, they will not be, maybe less than 0%, and you can't even see them, you can't even hear them. They always come in defense of the government. They always come in defense of the government. And at the end of the day, what do we really get as a people? And that is why people, because people believe that, or that is his position. He has been a human rights activist, a lawyer, fighting for the people. When it comes to injustice, he comes out, he's always, try to stand in for them, try to defend them. But all of a sudden, the same government you've been criticizing, and you are part of them, and you think that anything good can really come out. Please, guys, don't get me wrong. That is my own opinion. And you think that anything good can really come out. Okay, if really that is what he's saying, has he been able to, has he been criticizing the same government he's talked about, that even if it takes you 10 years, if you are outside the government, if it takes you 10 years, and if you are not part of them, it's just going to take you like 10 minutes to be able to resolve those problems. Oh, those things that he's been talking about, is there any difference now? Has he made changes, or has he made progress concerning those things he has been saying over the time before coming to join them? And that is the problem. And that is why, politicians all over the world, but let's be specific to, to Nigeria, they don't, you can't trust them, because they don't say things the way they are. They are always, politically right or politically correct. They must defend, because if you have sworn an oath, or if you are working with a company, you dare not speak against that company. The only thing you are going to be doing, is just to be defending on the defense, even when it is really evident, when it's obvious to everybody, when it's obvious to every individual in the country that things are not going well. But you see, come out and defend the same government, and they will be using all these judicial comments, or slogan, to be deceiving us. They'll be telling you according to this, according to that. Even the people who do not even know law, literally, as a layman, you know that, okay, if something is like this, it has to be like this. But in all of those things, there's no truth, and they will just come out and be telling us, okay, make us understand, at least to, if to the barest minimum, that even a layman can really understand what you are trying to project to the people. So, like he said, he has joined the party, he has joined the government, no, and he said the party was formed in his Parlour, in Delta State, and that was one of the reasons, he's not surprised that he's nominated. So is it because of you provided an avenue for the party to be established or to be created in Delta State, is now a yardstick for you to have been nominated? Of course, that was what he said. That was what he said, that because he's not surprised, because using his apartment for the creation, or for the inauguration of that party in that state, is the reason why he's been nominated. But if he are speaking on that note, but like he said, is coming to the government to make difference, to make changes, then I think that should have been the basis of his nomination. But in some quarters, they've said, oh, Keyamu got his appointment because he's always insulting people on behalf of Buhari, and that is just the perspective, and that's the mindset of people, and you cannot rule that. They are entitled to their opinion. It's based on what they are saying, based on what they are seeing as well, and based on the position he has already taken, because it's on the defense of the government all the time. So people tends to, like, you are part of them. There's no way you are going to speak to the power. There's no way you can come and say, okay, these are the things that the government or my party is doing wrongly, but we are correcting it. But for once, they will never come and address that. The only thing they see is opposition. It's the same person. You will be talking about the opposition party. And when you were outside the government, when you were not part of the government, you are saying they perceive them as enemies. And it's the same thing he's doing, because he was in charge of the campaign group for APC before the 2019 general elections. And at the end of the day, he was just speaking for them. And he was seeing the other parties that are not APC as opposition, as enemies, because he was always attacking them. If you guys have been watching this the back and forth between himself and the representative of this guy from the PDP, Shegun Showeyemi, if you saw the interview the both of them had, with channels, it's in the public domain, it's on YouTube, you can go and check. You could see the way at which they were defending their parties. So if you are now telling us that because you are now in the party and the reason why you join is that those things that you've been pinpointing out or you've been talking about before, when you were outside the government, now that had taken you, or that could have taken you 10 years, but now you have come. I think he's been with them for 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. So what impact has he made? What difference has he made? But the difference that we are seeing is that he's always on the defense of the same party he's talking about. So guys, that is just my opinion. I know you guys will have a different opinion or different take on this matter. I would like to hear from you, from the comment section. Thank you very much for always listening. Bye.